It's Friday. How many of you are going for an Indian curry later? Well, it's certainly become a British institution and it's now being exported back to its country of origin. How's that going to go down? I'll be discussing that with my special guests. That's coming up. Well, you've heard the phrase about selling ice to the Eskimos and sending coals to Newcastle, but what about taking curry to India? It may sound absurd, but that is exactly what 6 British chefs are doing right now in Calcutta. They're taking part in a 10-day curry festival to show the Indians how it's done. Among the dishes on the menu, British favourites, chicken tikka masala and broccoli balti, as Rahul Tandon reports.
Over the next 10 days, people are going to come here to try out something different, a British curry, because Calcutta is having a British curry festival. It sounds mad, sounds bizarre. Let's find out a little bit more about it. I've got Dominic Chapman, award-winning chef from the United Kingdom here. Are you nervous? You come here to show the Indians the British curry?
Yeah, well, we're not here to show people how to cook. We're over here to experience Kolkata, have a look at the food, introduce the British curry to India and see how it's received. British curries are a way of life now in the UK, and to bring it to India is just a fantastic thing to do.
We know what an Indian curry is. What's a British curry?
What is a British curry? That's a good question. Chicken tikka masala, lamb vindaloo, Rogan Josh, all those classics that we know and are on every high street. They don't have those in India. They have chicken with sauce and various other things. It's really, really interesting for us. You know, today I've been in the kitchen and they've been looking at the chicken tikka masala and we're very, very interested. The chicken tikka masala over here is apparently a lot more spicy rather than sweet. It's just different. They're different things.
You'll know from Britain, lots of Indian chefs have gone there, worked there. Could we see a reverse trend now? Could we see lots of Brits coming here to cook curry in India?
Why not? I mean, it's an amazing country, and you know, mad in places. So why not? You know, India's booming. You know, whether it's in Kolkata or Mumbai or somewhere else on the coast in Goa, who knows? I mean, I see no reason why British chefs couldn't succeed in Kolkata as they are in Dubai and places all over the world.
Right, taking curry to India. Well, we're going to discuss that. We are surrounded by an amazing aroma of curry here in the studio. Unusual to smell this in this particular studio. Vivek Singh, who's executive chef at the Cinnamon Club, is here. Lizzie Collingham, who's author of Curry, a Biography, and Justine Ali of the British Curry Awards Curry Princess, daughter of Inam Ali, the self-styled Curry King. Quite a title for you. Thank you and welcome to you all, and thank you for bringing in this amazing-looking food. I mean, Vivek, first of all, when you see this this idea of taking curry to India from Britain and showing them how to cook British curry, what do you make of it? Do you think this is going to go down well?
Well, I think, you know, we are. This is just indicative of the big melting pot that the world has become the last few years. I mean, you see, there's just so much to travel backwards and forwards, so much interest, so much interaction, so much exchange, that this is it's only a matter of time. So if you're not pushing forward, you're actually digging backwards. And I think British curry and finding out more about it is actually going to be a very interesting process for Indians too.
You've brought in some wonderful dishes. We're going to talk about the actual sort of evolution of curry in a moment. And I mean, really, I want to discuss also how we got from something that was in rural India and in the cities of India coming into Britain and now becoming the most popular dish, I believe. Justine, is this right? You're the historian.
Oh, Lizzie.
Lizzie, sorry, Lizzie. You're the historian. I mean, how on earth did this come about?
Well, it all started in the early 19th century when the British went to India, and they loved Indian food at first, and their cooks thought, oh dear, British, English, white, sensitive stomachs, we'll tone the spices down, we'll tone the ghee down, we'll tone the yogurt and so on. So you evolve a sort of slightly blander curry for your British masters. And this eventually, and then the British loved curries, but they had a peculiar way of saying, oh, if it's got lentils in it, it's Dansak, comes from Bombay. Oh, if it's hot and got chilies in it, it's Madrasi, it comes from there. Vindaloo is a Portuguese curry and so on. And they took all this and then they liked relishes on their curries, but they did it indiscriminately. So you stick some desiccated coconut on or whatever. And so you get a sort of British form of curry. And that, in a way, is what the British were eating in India when they were the masters and in the Raj, is what the first people who opened restaurants in the 1960s and so on in England served then to the British public. And so that's a kind of, it's really a British invention, curry. No self-respecting Indian ate a curry.
That's very interesting.
We ate a curry, we never called it a curry.
Right, so the name curry has sort of become a British thing, but the Indians are now using it itself again.
Exactly. I mean, curry is certainly not the phenomenon that we know. It's not a Friday night do. It's not, a whole category of cooking or cooking from an entire subcontinent to be classified as curry. This is not how we know it in India, and this is not how we refer to it. So everything is a little bit more specific. But it is a phenomenon. It's here to stay.
And Lizzie talked about the arrival of curry in Britain, which takes me on to Justine, your family story, your dad. I mean, you're not from India, in fact, you're British Bangladeshis. So we're not just specifically talking about India really at all, but just tell us a little bit of his story, the curry king.
We have almost 85% to 90% of all the Indian restaurants in the country are Bangladeshi owned. And it's a great success story. My father, the founder of the British Curry Awards, we celebrate
quite a big event here for all the restaurant owners in this country.
Definitely. And there's 10,000 Indian restaurants in the country that, we celebrate the British Curry Awards and the great, story of the curry and how successful it's become. And I think this festival is great to celebrate how we've reinvented the curry and transformed it into a unique way that, it serves the British palate and it's healthier now. If you go to India, it's very much rich.
Because I thought it might be the other way around, that the British version is a bit kind of, I don't know, oily and a kind of treat, whereas the Indian version is the daily variety where you have to eat it.
I think I differ that. I think it's definitely much healthier here. That's why the chicken tikka masala, it was full of colouring. I'm sure you know, it was full of, artificial colouring. We've adapted its natural food colouring.
Because it is bright pink. For our viewers who don't know what a chicken tikka masala looks like, it is a sort of vivid red ranging to pink.
Here today.
Okay, and now it looks more of a
natural colouring, slightly orangey in colour.
If we can just zoom down on it, it's magnificent looking.
Beetroot, and it's got yoghurt, which is slightly milder for the palate. So it's been changed and innovated, so it's suitable for everyone to enjoy.
Lizzie, we are looking at on international television. We are looking at Britain's favourite dish live on world television, the chicken tikka masala.
It's supposed to have been invented by somebody. Somebody served a sort of a vindaloo type. What is it called?
A tandoori chicken.
Tandoori chicken
without the sauce.
Very red, and the customer complained it was too dry, and so somebody whipped up a can of tomato soup and some cream and stuffed it on the chicken. And said, "There's your gravy, dear."
It's a very legend story. It's a very legend story.
But it's become the favourite dish.
I mean, it doesn't taste like tomato soup anymore.
It's just tomato soup, and I think
with cream in it.
These days, restaurant owners have made it more sophisticated.
It is a bit more aromatic.
It's come a long way from that first reincarnation. But I suppose the success of curry is not just about its popularity or its, people's love for it, but it's also about its adaptability and the way that spice and cooking with spice and, cooking from the subcontinent has adapted itself to whichever environment it's found itself in, whether that being Africa or Britain or the US. And it's always about whenever something has adapted itself better, it's become more of a success.
Very briefly, Vivek, I'm looking at your dishes here. That doesn't look like a traditional curry to me. That looks quite posh.
It's what I call modern Indian cooking. So you take traditional Indian cooking techniques and traditional spicing and combine that with the very best local seasonal produce wherever in the world you may be cooking to create something which is best of both worlds, really.